Page 83, March Slav. They give you a little preparatory drill at the top so you get a little idea of what's going on with the fingering. We've already had this where the index crosses over the thumb and then also plays the next note after in another piece. This happens in the second line in this piece, in the second measure. You have the A, these are eighth notes, A, G sharp, A, B. This is really common in piano. I suggest you get good at it, all right? And do it without looking at the keyboards. You look at the key signature, say, okay, this is in C major, right? And that would be incorrect. It's not in C major. Okay, we can't just look at the key signature anymore because they're introducing minors. You have majors and minors as far as scales go. Chords can have a lot more than just majors and minors, so don't worry about that. We're talking scales here, key signatures. We've got majors and minors. C major has no sharps or flats. Well, there is a minor scale, a minor key that also has no sharps or flats. Duh. And it is A minor. So now the question is, well, how do you know what key it's in? Well, a lot of times you hear it. Over time, you'll hear it. All I have to do in this piece, all I have to do is just play a little bit at the beginning. I can see it's not in a major and minor sound different. So it's, that's not a major key. That is a minor key. But a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, to figure out what key it's in, you simply look at the end of the piece. A lot of these pieces will end with a chord in the key it's in. And the right hand is playing the A at the bottom, the last measure, and the left hand is playing that, okay? They left out the C, but again, you don't have to play every note in a chord. The full chord would be with the C, and that is an A minor chord. It's a one chord in A minor. Okay. If I put the A sharp on, or the C sharp on it, that would be an A major chord. I've already had A major. We've had time to forget about that too, but right there, so that's an A minor. So there's no sharps or flats in A minor, but we got accidentals to deal with. I've already pointed out in the right hand the only really tricky thing is crossing over the thumb, and that happens in a few places. All right? Big deal. In the left hand, the tricky part are those rests, because you're resting when you want to play. And no, you're playing on the weak beat of the measure, or weak beats. You're playing on 2 and 4. You want to play on 1 and 3. We want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And so it's a little weird. Good luck coordinating all of that. So let's go ahead and try this. Again, I haven't reminded you for a while, so I will now. Separate the phrases. We want a little bit of silence between the phrases and bring out the melody. In this case, it's in the right hand. Again, to demonstrate, so you're really clear, because it's important. If I play at the first line, second measure, right hand only, I'm playing an A for 3 counts, 1, 2, 3, and then if I continue on and I don't break the phrases, I connect them. It's like one big long phrase. I don't want that. I want a little bit of silence, so I'm going to lift up on the A before I play the 8th notes. 1, 2, 3. So there's just a little bit of silence. I cut the A a little bit short. Just a little. Not a lot. And that's it. Now you have some staccatos in the left hand. Make sure you get those in, okay? And make sure you're holding notes down exactly as long as you're supposed to. At the end of the first measure and the second, end of the first line, the second line, the third line. Ooh. The right hand has a dotted half note. That's 3 counts, so make sure you lift it up on beat 4. And the left hand plays what they play on beat 4 by itself. The only pedal we have in here is the last measure. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. You could easily do this without pedal at all, but you're going to push the pedal down right after you play the A in the right hand. This is the last measure of the piece. Here. You're going to hold it down until the full 4 beats is up. So you got 2 beats, and then the left hand comes in for 2 beats, and when those beats are up, the hands and the pedal all come up together. There's two little things in the left hand that could be a little tricky for you. Just watch out. In the second line, in the second measure, in the left hand, you're here. In the third measure, they want the third finger on the E, on the half note. Just so you're aware of that, okay? Because it's immediate. There's no rest or nothing. Okay? Then you have an F sharp. And in the last measure, a G sharp. You got to move your hand up into the black note area to get the G sharp. The G sharp is finishing that little phrase in the left hand. See, each hand gets its own phrasing sometimes, and in this case it does. So you're connecting that left hand all the way up to the G sharp. Then the E's are all staccato. But don't play the G sharp staccato. It's not. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people will automatically play the last note of a phrase like that staccato when they see the others, and that's not correct. It's That's not what's written there. Some cases it is written there, but they have to put a staccato dot above that note if they want it staccato, and they didn't do that. So careful on that. Then in the last line, in the second measure, you're here again. Going into the third measure, it's the second finger on the E this time. Okay? So having said all that junk, let's try this out together, slowly. This is kind of a slow piece anyway. It says moderato, but we're going to do it slow. So, little finger on the E for the right hand. And the left hand's is here, E, and the foot's on the pedal. Put the foot on the pedal immediately. If you're going to need it, put it on the pedal for the whole piece. Don't be putting your foot down and up and down and, you know, like you're dancing or something. Just put it there and leave it there. 1, 2, ready, go. Two,